Good morning, everyone. At least it's morning for me, on this day of October 3rd, 2016. Today I wish to share with you some information I wrote in the mid-1990s, two separate transmissions, I guess you'd say, that I received, probably at different years, but in that period of time. And I just now was happening to see both of them. And I realized how similar they were. Obviously, it's connected. So I would like to follow the thread because both of these packets of information I feel are very important. They're at the core of the quantum sciences that I receive and work with. And I never realized how similar they were. Yet they obviously are different too. So I wanted to look at them both and then take them to Thoth and ask, what's up? what is their relationship? So here we go. Actually, this first would have, while the Achiimid came to me, it says here on February 13th, 1996, it's referring back to information in my 1990 temple doors. So it's kind of, flowing with a lot of different things here. So here we go. On the night of February 13th, 1996, Tehuti, that's Thoth. For a while there, I decided to call him Tehuti, then I went back to calling him Thoth. Tehuti is a more ancient name for him, actually. Integrated with my higher mind, inserting a streaming of knowledge concerning divine alchemy in its relationship to work we have been instructed to do with the 4444 Stargate. Most of this knowledge streaming was not in a form that can be relayed in conscious understanding. However, some terms were also inserted. On 2/16/96, I asked Thoth to clarify some of these terms for me. This information needed to be included as it is spoken of in the article on Sekhmet, page 1 of this issue. Well, we're not going to go back to that, but we're going to look at it from this page. To help clarify, the following information is a composite of current and past transmissions from Thoth in combination with direct translation done by me from the ancient mind records of the Zarathustrian Book of Lords, which appeared in Temple Doors issue 390. Now I have more recently done a whole speaking on that, a reading on it of the whole Zarathustrian Book of Lords article, which was rather long, and I did a video on that with my current commentary, and you can find that in my Maya talks on my YouTube videos. I'm not sure if it is in the ones that are released to the general public or it is in the Kira Portal videos, but it's in one or the other of the YouTube selections. And you can find that link if you go into the vault, not the vault, the video section of my portal, if it is in the portal videos. If not, you can just go onto YouTube and go to my channel and you'll find it there. Now that that's all crystal clear, I'll continue here. Okay, current. By current, it means when I'm writing this article, this full article in 96. The Achiimid structure is seen as a black pyramid with triangular recesses in each of its four sides. They appear as a slice taken out of a pie. In order to understand the definition of the Achiimid, let us review the meaning of archi as given in Temple Doors, issue 390. In the book of the Zarathustrian Lords is written the names of the 5 race spirits who have yet to manifest their streaming upon the earth. From these race spirits shall come the new races, bringing the genetic fourfold helixes into the Earth's domain. Since the time of the fall, mankind contains only twofold helix, which stays him from receipt of the complete being. Through the metatronic spiral, the light molecule, the M straw, begins the process of receipt. Once accomplished, the 5 race spirits, or the archi, spelled both ways with one eye or with 2 eyes, will come into the evolutionary field of Earth's manifesting plane. These archi are also the first race spirits, only they return as higher evolutions of their former revealed to the earth natures. Thus they are meta-archi. The meta-archi cause the asterism's cohesion of the light molecule. I'm not going to even try to go into that right now. Okay, from the Zarathustran Book of Lords, the amphibet, meta-archi, stretch out their fineness of silks and spin a mudra of totality. From the seed light they gather all the signs into one shining element, bared to the forge of the sun, bathed in the pearls of the moon. Lo, the scroll of golden beams is written with the quills of their burnishing might, and set into the living pulse of the mother realm. Now that's a quote from the ancient Zarathustrian Book of Lords, which I received that transmission in 1990. Okay, to continue, back to 1996, the Achiimid is the alchemical sacred pattern for the entrance of sublime atonics, sacred harmonics, streaming from the archi into the elemental creational matrix of the earth. Only a select few alchemists on earth have ever worked through the Achiimid, for it requires absolute spirit-to-matter precision. I, Thoth, am one who has tapped its divine rod and brought forth the mana from its pure form. The Achiimid contains many aspects of divine mystery and creative function. Revealed to you now is only one portion of its complete passage. Through this geometric, spirit has access to the order of atomic frequency in matter, and thus may intercede in the karmic containment fields of the atomic structure, breaking the spell of matter to release mutable spirit matter forms as merkabic vehicles for light redemption of matter. Wow. May I say it again? Wow. Okay. In the book of the Zarathustrian Lords, we quote, "From the seed light they gather all the signs into one shining element, bared to the forge of the sun, bathed in the pearls of the moon," which signifies spiritual consciousness becomes a guardian spirit of higher order, emanating from individualized, spiritualized ego, who gather to form what the Zarathustran book calls genius, and that's the planetary genius. And I've written a lot about that. In this issue, you can read it on page 21 of the issue I'm reading from here. You can also find it on my Metatron 777 blog site, and it's up in the top panel of core information or something like that. This issue of Temple Doors is issue 296 and can be found in the Vault of Thoth in the portal. Okay, current, meaning 96. The physical residue, or element containing the spirit-to-matter component of this sacred gathering is the prima matra, the first matter of earth, which is elementation purified in the solvency of spirit, the mana of eternal life. This is the shining element, exemplifying the spirit-to-matter dynamic inherent in the genius of the planet. The 5 archai, or meta-archai, who are the race spirits mentioned above, form an alchemical breakdown in matter, represented through the Archimid as causation, separation, distillation, crystallization, and unification. The Archimid focuses these breakdowns simultaneously through 4 event fields: monotonic, not, I'm wondering if that should be monoatomic. So this is Thoth's version of the word monoatomic, possibly, but he's calling it monotonic. Monotonic. It's not a typo. I believe this is true Thoth speak here, monotonic, but obviously it's relating to monoatomic. Morphogenetic, rhombic, and omnipronic. The solutions through which the alchemical formulas become actualized are earth, water, fire, air, and azoth. So this is high alchemy, is what he's speaking about here. It's the alchemy of the body, transforming the body from the grosser state to the purer state, the pure gem state. And it's also, you can put this into elemental formations of silver, gold, metals, working with the metals as well. The following are some additional terms given to me with the Archimid information. Kabbalis, a language of hand and body signing that connects light codes with the Archimid grid. And then this word that sounds a lot like abracadabra, Adu Bar-A Kada Ber-A, sacred tonal mantra aligned to open specific fields within the Archimid grid. Then the Siegel of Jamal, or Kabin. Remember the Or Kabin, the 6-pointed Star of David with specific fire codes and symbols integrated to form the Siegel of Jamal, an ancient future spinner wheel to form various cohesive fields in the creation matrix of spirit to matter atomics. Okay, so that is that article. Oh, we have a little rain. Hope that's not going to disturb my ability to hear me speak here. But this is on the Archimid. Now, we're going to move to the next one. Well, I'm fairly sure my voice is carrying over the rain, so I'm going to continue. Now we're going to the Theramid. Here on this article, which is on my Arc of Metatron 777 blog, is the Theramid Revisited. Now, I wrote this in 2011, but I'm writing about the Theramid that was presented to me in the mid-1990s, sometime within the years of having received the information on the Archimid. So we have the Archimid and we have the Theramid. And quite honestly, I didn't realize we had two of them. I mean, I write so much stuff, I can't remember, I just can't remember it all. And I have difficulty sorting things out in my brain anyway. So here we have 2 different ones that are very, very similar, but they're not exactly the same. So this fascinates me, and I want to pursue it with all of you because I think there's some real depth to it. These are 2 very core expressions of the whole dynamic of ascension that we're working with the Cyrus the Rising Project. So here we go. This is the Theramid. We talked about the Archimid. We read about that. Now we're reading about the Theramid. In the mid-1990s, I wrote, the Theramid is not only the key to unlocking the most deeply held secrets within the Great Pyramid, but also within human DNA. Through the atom-cadmonic midden chamber within humanity, the Theramid will activate the Imstra molecule, an etheric molecule which holds the path of our return to light within the DNA helixes. Now let me stop a moment. The midden chamber is also in the Great Pyramid. So we have a twofold here. It's in us, and it's in the Great Pyramid. Once the Imstra is activated, through the activity of the theramid, the etheric envelope for what is being called the 12-strand DNA will begin to form in earnest. This will in turn reconnect our stellar memory circuits so that we can begin to create an imaging that is correlative with the divine image and similitude on a biological level. In short, we will effectively be able to work in closer concert with the universal hierarchy in reprogramming not only our biological forms within the memory circuits of eternal life and light, but the entire planetary genetic database as well. This is the ultimate manifestation of the Grail on earth, divinity fully received unto matter. You see, we're thinking of transforming matter into spirit, or really most people think of leaving matter behind and going into spirit. But matter and spirit are not that separate. Matter is just a denser version of spirit. That's from Thoth anyway. So here this is speaking about the ultimate manifestation of the Grail on earth is divinity fully received into matter. So divinity has to come into matter fully. It has to come into the body of the denser spirituality. And by doing so, it absorbs that mold into the higher function. And it becomes the hand to the body of spirit, rather than this disembodied little quirky thing that's we're having to leave behind every time we die and go into spirit and then come back into matter. I mean, this is really it kind of reminds me of when the Windows PC was developed. They were trying to back engineer Mac to get it to work right, and they had all these interfaces that were so quirky. I mean, it's worked out now, but it kind of reminds me of that. We're back engineering to get this little quirky body thing that we're working in here. But actually, we need to bring it into full focus so that it becomes the hand of the spiritualized being. And then it is absorbed into that spiritualized being. Well, I didn't mean to get off on that, but let's go to the next part here. If you can hear me above the rain, I'm going to talk a little louder. So I say, now in 2011, Thoth is saying to me, the theramid is essentially one of the most important light mathematic equations for reprogramming and recalibrating a planet Earth in its transformation into the new Earth star. It is a phi equation. Understand that when we say phi equation, the final imaging of that process will not resemble the mathematical formula constructed in mathematical dimensions, but instead will appear as a holograph formation created from a combination of universal triggers which are activated by that equation. The theramid is built in to the Great Pyramid of Giza, or the Temple of the Risen One, Temple of the Lion, by various names. Its light mathematics are within the physical dimensions of the midden chamber, as yet to be revealed within the structure of the Great Pyramid. The midden chamber is also a space within the human heart, which is hidden in plain sight. The theramid equation spins through the midden chamber in the heart, and thereby amplifying the connection to the golden city in the brain. We'll go back into what that means, but most of you, hopefully, that have followed my work are familiar with the golden city. It's an aspect of the brain, pineal gland area, and it connects and does these wonderful things for our future pure gem experience, which we are actually activating in the now in many ways. There is a way to charge the midden chamber, meaning in the heart. Take a pen and a piece of paper. If you're right-handed, use your left hand. Left-handed, hold the pen in your right hand. Focus on your heart into the midden chamber. Take some moments with even, deep breathing. Ask that your channel to this point in the heart be accessible to you through your brain and nervous system of the body. Call upon your guardian beings to seal away any other channels but to the sacred midden heart chamber. When you feel a tingling peace come over you, it is time to begin. Place your hand pen on the paper and relax. Feel your connection to the sacred heart chamber and allow the language of light to come through the nervous system into your arm and hand. This is your higher being writing now, moving the pen, making it clear that no other source shall be present in this act but your higher self. Let the light language symbols flow. I can't speak. Sorry about that. Let the light language symbols flow through you. Feel them light up your entire body with grace and healing. Let your arm and hand move as guided without any forethought of conscious direction. When you feel complete, focus your eyes upon what has been written, even if it looks like nothing up but abstract lines. Remember, this is not intended to be any form of written communication, not automatic writing. I'm going to skip a little of this because this is a practice of focus, and you can receive this. You can read it in writing and work with it if you go to Arc of Metatron 777, and I will post a link to this at the bottom so you can get this this practice, because we're really not talking about the practice right now. So let's move down from that and go to the question that I asked those. Why is there a midden chamber in the Great Pyramid? The temple of the Risen One, the Great Pyramid, is created as the body of the ascended being. Those initiates who embark upon the eternal within this temple become as one with its structural purpose to aid them in their journey. So my question is, what was the nature of their journey? Thoth, to become one. The Theramid is the equation of the ascended human. It is written actively in the stone of the Ascension Temple of Giza. The new races coming out of the pure gem body will be 7 in number. They shall each envelop the previous. That is, the first race will eventually be enveloped by the second, then a third, etc. Essentially, it is all one with 7 stages of completion into the full-blown gem. However, seeing them as individual races allows you to focus the elemental design of each, which carries its unique attributes. Now see, with the Achiimid that we read about, that is speaking about the 5 race spirits, not races, but race spirits that activate the races. So these are the races they activate, which are 7 in number. 5 race spirits activate 7 in number race spirits. Races. But these 7 races are really all 7 stages of one race development. So we look at them now. They're given here as 7 race stages of the pure gem body. The first language, Aloe, name, followed by keynote name and expression. Ra, I think it said, blue, Mar, sea of the soul. Bikal, becoming, life arising. Ecclesia, moment, still focus. Tumunis, holy wind, coming forth. Dubal, heartstone, root foundation. Purana, cup of life, drinking to the pure. And Sakal, the new day to be received. Now, so the big question, the reason that I am reading all of this to you right now, I could just give you links and quotes and you could read it yourself, but I wanted to comment on it because I want to understand more fully the relationship between the Theramid and the Achiimid. So that's what I'm going to look at now with Okay, so he is telling me that the Achiimid, the first one we read here, let me go over to it, this in the temple doors here. And the Achiimid is an alchemical sacred pattern for the entrance of sublime atonics or sacred harmonics streaming from the arca into the elemental creation matrices of the earth. And as such, the Achiimid then is that which receives, which gives signals, which is the foundation of the full matrix of the earth programming. It holds within it the spirit to matter precision. And as such, it opens up the whole atomic field, atonic and atomic field. That's where we have the monoatonics and monoatomics. They are two separate things. But the monoatonics, the aton field, is the pure divine similitude of all properties of being. The atomic is where it enters and starts working and becomes a function of life, matter, and elementation. So the Achiimid holds that template. So now, if we're going to go back and look at the Theramid is that which activates the Imstra molecule in the DNA. So without the Achiimid information, the Theramid could not operate, obviously. So the Theramid is a tool, is a key that uses the key codes of the Achiimid to do its job in unlocking the midden chamber in the pyramid and in the of Giza and in our Imstra, our bodies, activating the Imstra molecule to create our return path to the light within the DNA helixes. So essentially that's the difference between the two. So the race spirits of old become the new instigators through their archmage properties, and they signal the transition and open the path to the new races, which are really all one race with 7 stages of becoming. So, as an aside to the Sholar, our core group for the Newer Star Inner Academy, this is something that is very prominent for your working with the dwellers. And we're going to go into that with the Sholars in a separate video. But for everyone who's listening to this is the Achiimid and the Theramid properties are so major to the whole dynamic of ascension on this planet, because we must get to the elements, we must release them from their trapped formats and allow them to become pure. When they become in the pure formation, there won't be any of this exploding radiation stuff going on. This is because we're contradicting their true formula. We're just blowing them to bits. We're saying we're trying to just disrupt their whole programming. And that's why atomic energy is so damaging. Damaging in the sense of how we're, trying to make it work for us. That's what's so damaging for us. And that's why we're getting so much backlash. Not to mention blowing people up in World War II with the atomic bomb, but also, this Fukushima thing and all these plants that are leaking radiation. We're just into a big mess here because we're not using it in the proper modality. But we will be. We will be, because things are going to happen to cause us to face the music and reach deeper into our being and find where we must dance with these nuclear elements. And so I'm going to conclude this particular video here for today. And thank you for listening, everyone.